The Browns are off for summer vacation, but a legend is getting recognized. And it's week 2 of our Browns opponents for 2024. We have a special guest to help break that down. Let's get on to the show right now. Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara, the sickest Cleveland Browns podcast.
Chubb runs, he's to the 10, 15, he's to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. There goes Chubb, he's to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Chubb Hub.
It's gonna be sick.
Welcome, everybody. Hello. Hope everyone is staying cool. I'm sure where you are, it is a heat wave. It's massive. Not so hot on the football field because everyone's on vacation. Now we just have to cross our fingers that none of the players do anything stupid and everybody comes back fine, healthy, not in trouble of any sort. Some good news, though, is how about Phil Dawson? Did everybody see this on Browns Twitter and social media? They released it. Phil Dawson, the Browns' legendary kicker for so long, was kind of the most popular Brown in the dark years. He's going to be inducted into the Browns Legends Club this year. He's going to have his name, going to have a presentation. Phil the Foot Dawson getting recognized. Great highlight package. I want to know your favorite Phil Dawson memory. I know it's obvious, and it's probably yours too, but I have to go to that Buffalo Bills 2008 game, that Snow Bowl, where they couldn't see the lines, whatever, and they won 8-0 off of Phil Dawson, the weather master. They still have the Phil Dawson flag up in Brown Stadium, where he put up there. He became like an amateur meteorologist because of how crazy the winds were coming off of Lake Erie. So there's the Phil Dawson flag, and he coaches the Browns kickers up from time to time to just how to navigate the winds off of Lake Erie and Brown Stadium. So that was cool. I love seeing that. Phil Dawson will be inducted to the Browns Legends crew this year. Make sure you click notifications on for the show. Click like, comment. What's your favorite Phil Dawson memory? Who do you also want to be next in the Browns Legends group? Who do you want for the Browns to recognize? Clay Matthews. I was at that game a few years ago, Sunday Night Football versus the Rams. Terrible finish to that game, but Clay Matthews was in there. Who do you want next in the Browns Legends crew? Hit us up on X at AndyMC81, at SickPodBrowns on Instagram and TikTok at AndyMC Sports. And because it's the off season, I wanted to go through each week a new opponent for the Browns in the 2024 season upcoming. Last week we had Michael Fabiano, did a great job talking Dallas Cowboys week 1. Week 2, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I thought, well, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars? Well, it's also the owner of this fine company, All Elite Wrestling. And I just need to go back to friend of show, Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, back on the program. How you doing, Matt?
Oh, what's going on, Andy? Things are good over here. I didn't realize. I forgot I was repping the Jags today. That's
right. You're repping. You're a Chiefs fan by heart, which I get. But I was like, well, look, Forbidden Doors coming up June 30 on Triller TV. I gotta have an excuse to bring back Daddy Magic, right?
Well,
so why not?
Here we are. And Jags, I know who butters the bread. They're close too. They're close too.
They're close too. That's right. You got to respect the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we'll talk a little bit about them and actually what's becoming a very interesting AFC South. Because, Matt, for years it was like AFC South and NFC South suck. Just terrible.
Yeah.
Now you got the Houston Texans. The Colts are interesting with Anthony Richardson. Will Levis with the Titans. And the Jags, Trevor Lawrence just signed that big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the Texans, like they rebuilt like that. Am I crazy? Like
no, Matt, you're not crazy. You know how they rebuilt? I'll tell you.
The quarterback. Yeah, but go ahead.
They got the quarterback, but how they got to rebuild so fast was because of all the draft picks the Cleveland Browns gave them for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot. Totally. That's exactly what happened.
Yep. That's
exactly what happened. Yeah.
Because the Browns gave them all the draft picks and they picked really good players. Now they're good.
That's so funny.
Drives me nuts.
Funny. Yeah, of course.
So yeah. Now,
but I mean, you guys are you got to still be happy with Watson, no?
Well, we hope. Here's the thing, Matt.
Does he stay healthy?
The Browns. If you could plunk down maybe even a Trevor Lawrence, for example, but a top 10 quarterback, even at 10, onto this Browns roster. The defense, you have the defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett. You have the assistant coach of the year and coach of the year on the team. Everything is set on offense, defense, special teams. is the quarterback going to be able to stay healthy? That's the big question.
That's the question. He's top 10. You got to think if he's healthy, or at least 4 or 5 years ago, he was top 10 easy.
Well, and here's the tricky part. We have to look at, okay, like 2019, 2020, Deshaun Watson, top 10.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot that's happened on and off the field since then.
And aging, just, you know.
Yeah, and now I have to ask you this. Have you ever heard of the glenoid bone in a shoulder? The glenoid bone?
I have not, no.
Me neither. Apparently that's what he broke, and he had surgery on to fix the glenoid bone. It happens sometimes with baseball pitchers, but he's coming back from that. If he stays healthy, I think the Browns can hang with anybody. But yeah, like if you don't have your quarterback, you're a Chiefs fan. Where would you be without Pat Mahomes?
Well, no, it's a disaster. I mean, I wouldn't say disaster, but yeah, of course, you know.
Right, like it's and for the Jaguars,
the year we won the first Super Bowl, 2019, Pat was gone for 4 or 5 games, and then Matt Moore was the guy's name.
Matt Moore, he made a lot of money.
Yeah, he did well. He did well for us.
Yeah,
I remember one game in particular against the Vikings. He did well, and
that's
Chad
right.
Hennings stepped in a couple times. Anyway, but yeah, but for 2-3 games, no problem. But longer than that,
long term,
you know.
Well, Chad Henne was the guy who beat the Browns on the non-helmet call.
That's right.
Dirty Dan Sorensen, whatever.
Don't get me started. Where it went out the back of the end zone.
And then back of the end zone. Oh my gosh, still bitter about that. That was Baker. We'd still have Baker Mayfield. If it wasn't for that. I'd have all my draft picks, and I'd have Baker Mayfield.
Look. That was a good game. You guys almost won that too.
It was.
And then I think we played the opener that the following year, and you guys jumped up to a big lead, and you blew it.
And we blew it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But hopefully not this year. Hopefully Deshaun Watson can stay healthy. And let's look at this Jags team a little bit here. The owned by the Khan family, of course.
That's right.
And we'll talk more about this huge Forbidden Door pay-per-view coming up Sunday, June 30 on pay-per-view, Triller TV, Fight TV in the States, Canada. Going to be amazing. In Long Island, right?
Yes, that's right. UBS Arena. Yeah, Long Island, New York. AWTIX.com.
And look, we're matching shirts.
There we go.
Go to shopaew.com. Get it right there.
You
you got the Canadian one?
No, this is AEW Together, which I think no longer exists.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Vintage. I think we should put that up on eBay. An autographed Daddy Magic AEW Together shirt.
Yeah, that's like our community outreach program.
Right.
I think we rebranded maybe or something.
Yeah.
Something happened. Yeah.
Doing good stuff regardless.
That's right.
We got to do it
in the communities.
In the communities, doing something. Trevor Lawrence with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, remember, Trevor Lawrence a couple of years ago, first overall pick. The guy had been a superstar since he was like in grade 6, right?
Yeah.
Like forever. He had never failed, really. And then he comes to Jacksonville and the Urban Meyer debacle.
That was the Urban Meyer year. That's right. How long did that last? To 10 games, 12 games?
I believe he lasted the whole season. Then they're just like, bro, you got to.
Yeah.
That was as far, like, I think we can think of a wrestling equivalent, maybe more so of a fall from grace from a head guy in a different company. We don't have to go there. But,
that took me a second. I was like, what? And then I got it. Yeah.
From another place. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But from a guy who was so revered, so top of his game in college to come in. And I don't know. But
that happens a lot. That happens a lot, it seems, with college coaches, right? Like brother Nick Saban, same thing.
Yeah.
His name from Alabama. Yeah.
Yep. Nick Saban. Do you think it's because, my theory is this, it's because in college, you can threaten the players like, hey, if you don't listen, I'll bench your ass and you don't go to the pros.
For sure.
In the pros, they're like, I make more than you. Shut up.
I'll just leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
The coach goes. The coach is the guy who gets canned. You're fighting with the big stars, right?
Like is that the difference you think? I think.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly plays a role. I also think they're in a place for so long, like they're institutions in these schools, and then you change, and it's not, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes years to get to a place like that again. I think that probably plays a factor. To
have it like that. Well, then Jacksonville got Doug Peterson in, Super Bowl winning coach from the Eagles, changing it around, and I still think that this big contract that Trevor Lawrence got there, I think it was $141 million guaranteed, $200 million, yada yada.
How long? Over how long?
Oh, was it 5 years? I'll have to double check that. It was a good chunk of time.
Do you know where it puts him? Sorry, do you know where it puts him in the
rankings up there?
Yeah, in the highest paid. Like
so, It depends where we look as far as individual per year salary. Because Deshaun Watson is not. I was shocked. He's not in the top 10 anymore.
Yeah, it goes fast. It goes fast every year. Like 2-3 guys.
That's it. And really, it all comes down to guaranteed money. Which for quarterbacks, if you're good, you're getting all the money.
Yeah.
Like other positions, you don't. But Trevor Lawrence I think for what they paid, you had to pay him because if you look at other quarterbacks coming out, it had to also be a bit of like, well, if we don't have him, who the heck are we bringing? It wasn't that long ago they had Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Of course. They went to the AFC title game with him.
Bortles had, you know what? Bortles was actually fantasy football gold because he would have like 4 points to the fourth quarter and then just garbage fantasy. It was amazing. He was amazing.
Yeah.
But you bring in Trevor Lawrence, and I think they're paying him for still, like some guys get contracts for what they did. They're paying Trevor Lawrence for what they hope
what he's going to do, the potential, yeah, for sure.
And this is
I think running backs would beg to disagree with you.
Yeah, those poor guys.
Yeah, they should have their own CBA on their own.
They really should,
right? Like,
why would you want to be if you're a kid? Like, why would you want to be a running back?
You wouldn't. I don't think you would. You know, it's crazy.
It's terrible.
Your best years are on the league minimum, and then they see you later. Yeah,
right. And you can be a star and like a 5th round pick, you're making nothing.
Yeah, and your career is quick, right? Yeah. Like remember Sean Alexander? Like I feel like he had 2 years, he's just unbelievable, and then just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Come on,
you know
that's the weird thing with
these from the Rams too. What's his name?
Todd Gurley.
Yes.
Yeah, best first overall pick fantasy football. Then it's like as you hear someone say, I don't know if his knee's that good, and then it's like, where the hell did Todd Gurley go?
Overnight, gone.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah. Holy smokes!
You rattle them off. It's such a unforgiving position for the Jags. They have a nice little spot there. Travis Etienne, you got him working in again with Trevor Lawrence, former teammates. Tank Bigsby, nice change of pace. D'Ernest Johnson, former Cleveland Brown. So you got a nice flow. First round pick, Brian Thomas Jr. at wide receiver. That was a big pickup. Lots of speed. Here's the thing, though, where I think the Jags could get in trouble, Matt, is that wide receiver group gets thin quick. It can kind of be seen as like a wrestling roster, too. Like if you have top guys, but you don't have guys coming up, and you have a star get injured, and you don't have someone who can step up, you're in big trouble. And I think that's what the Jags are like in the receiver spot.
Well, who's left there? Because they had a couple guys leave, didn't they? Didn't they have like a Calvin Ridley? Was that
Calvin Ridley left?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a smart move to make him leave because I think the deal was like if they re-signed him, they had to give Atlanta like a first round pick. They're like, get out of here. Yeah. They took their own first round pick, Brian Thomas. They brought in Gabe Davis from the Bills.
Buffalo. That's right. Yeah.
And then Christian Kirk is still there.
I mean, Gabe Davis, this guy's made a career off that one, the division game against Kansas City where he scored 4 touchdowns and they still lost.
It's the Al Bundy game.
Right. Exactly.
He's going to have the Poke High game, 4 touchdowns in one game.
Who's playing receiver for the Bills?
Great question.
Right? Who's Josh Allen throwing to?
Their top guy is Khalil Shakir. And if you ask anyone who's even a casual football, they're going, who? Who the heck's that?
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know.
No, here's what I think is going to happen. Josh Allen is going to have to feel, and maybe rightfully so, he's going to have to play hero ball.
He's going to run.
Throw it to.
Yeah.
And eventually you get hurt.
You're going to get banged up. You get hurt. Yeah.
Eventually. Now he's got the tight end Dalton Kincaid. So he's got some tight end. The running, it's not a great situation in that AFC East.
Well, I mean, that's what they said about the Chiefs last year, and we last 2 years even, So
I got
who's he throwing to? Nobody.
I got to tell you, man, your Chiefs. As soon as I saw, I might tell you this already. When Xavier Worthy at the Combines broke the combine record for the 40-yard dash, I said that SOB's going to the Chiefs. They're going to get him. Damn it. They're going to get him.
It's funny. Dustin Goldust was saying that he texted Tony Khan before they picked that they should choose him.
Really?
I guess he went to Texas. Did he go to Texas? I think so.
He went to Texas, yeah.
He's out of Texas, right, yeah.
And
he's a big Longhorns fan. So.
And instead they took Brian Thomas Jr., which overall wide receiver, I think is probably better. Worthy, super fast, but he's very slim. He's like 160, 165. You get
That's okay.
But we know with the Chiefs, you got a couple pieces now. They're looking to kind of have that Tyreek Hill. Maybe it'll take 2 guys, little gadget, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you got it with that speed.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens,
And you got for Jacksonville, Evan Ingram at tight end with a nice year there as well. So it's a case where I think the Jags are good and good enough possibly to win the division if there's no injuries. I'm just looking at this roster, Matt. Like, they are really thin.
There's nobody on. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you can say that about a lot of teams. I mean, every team, fucking, if you stay healthy, they'll be good. But then that's just not the case, right? Somebody's going to go down at some point.
Someone's going to,
yeah.
And then
so I guess a lot does depend on your bench. You're right, to your point.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and who steps up? There's guys every year, right? Of like, okay, well, who's going to be we just talked about Gabe Davis. Well, Gabe Davis was fine. Then he got 4 touchdowns and he became a legend. Good Lord.
Right. Who played for you guys? Who was the QB that filled in brother, the Ravens?
Oh, Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Oh,
out of nowhere.
Flacco fever, like a stunner out of nowhere, man.
Did that come to a screeching halt?
And then he's with Indianapolis now, signed with the Colts.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah,
I am not in football mode, man. Wow.
And he might play because Anthony Richardson, the big kind of like Cam Newton 2.0, coming off an injury. But Joe Flacco, he's like, I wanted to stay in Cleveland. They didn't call me. It's like, damn, man. Wow, now we got Jameis Winston, famous Jameis.
Is he backing him up?
He's backing up Deshaun.
Okay.
In Cleveland.
Right.
You know what? For a future like wrestler, if he wants it, like Jameis Winston's personality is phenomenal. Like that dude can cut a promo.
Yeah.
He's great.
I don't know. We'll see.
Can he throw?
Everybody can cut a promo. Is what they say, you know.
It's what they say. So you do it.
Yeah, it's cutting a promo and personality, different thing.
Very, very true. Yes, yeah. Can you do it when it counts and the lights are on? Yeah. So let's look at this AFC South here, and we're looking at the odds. Where are we here? AFC South. There we are. Houston Texans, the obvious favorite. They're the darling. You got C.J. Stroud, who Matt had about as perfect a rookie season you could have as a quarterback. Just untouchable. The guy didn't throw an interception for like the first 3 quarters of the season. Never seen anything like it.
It's just what a rookie, you know, doesn't happen too often.
From Ohio State. Too often. No, he was a great, and like I said, the Browns helped build that Texans team, so they're the obvious favorites. They're almost even money. The Jags are plus 270. Then you got the Colts with Richardson and Flacco at plus 330, and the Titans at plus 800. So
what moves have the Titans made? Have they made a splash? I know Henry's gone.
I think Ridley went there. I'm going to double check that right now. I am 99% sure that they went and got Ridley because they needed to really spice up that offense. They got Will Levis, who I love the big arm, but raw. They got Calvin Ridley. So how about this? Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins.
There you go.
Tyler Boyd from the Bengals comes over as the 3, which is nice. You picked up the running back spot, Tony Pollard going from the Cowboys to the Titans with Tyjae Spears as a bit of a committee. So that offense, if Will Levis can get up to a good start and Hopkins can stay healthy, that's the other thing. Hopkins is getting hurt all the time, but that's not too bad.
Where did Hopkins play last year?
Was he might have been with Tennessee last year. Let me pull that up here too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know what? Thank goodness. Imagine if this was like pre-internet, we'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, what would we do?
I know. I think of that sometimes. It's like
you'd have a newspaper. Maybe you'd have an old newspaper,
or someone just makes something up, and you're like, well, I guess so. I don't know.
Who did the research for people back in the day? Yeah,
with Tennessee, and he had over 1,000 yards.
How about
7 touchdowns? Okay, and he played 17 games. He was healthier than I thought. Okay,
where's Tannehill at?
Oh, Tannehill. You know what? Let's see where old Tannehill is.
He done?
No, he's got to be somewhere. But he went from crap in Miami to that resurgence for a few at the Tana thrill.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
They did well.
Is he not? He's got to be signed. I don't think he's signed anywhere.
He's he ended Tom Brady in New England, didn't he? Pretty sure.
Where the heck is Tannehill? Well, hit us up in the comments if you know where the hell Tannehill is.
Please.
That's interesting. Wow. Huh. He's got it. I think he was injured a bit too. He's going to end up somewhere. Some of the duds you have as backups in this league.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Come on. Tannehill's going to be somewhere. But if we look at this, like if the offense for the Titans goes well, that plus 800 could be juicy. The Jags, we just talked about it. Trevor Lawrence was so banged up last year, and they were like one drop pass away from winning the division.
Yeah.
So if we look at this,
is that how close it was?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was like on time. It was getting ready to go tie break. We as the Browns, I wanted Jacksonville. because Lawrence was hurt. We whipped them earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Instead, we got Texans, and they put the boots to us. That was it.
Yeah, I went to the Chiefs Jags game week 2 last year, and it went down to the wire.
If Lawrence is healthy, and it looks like he is.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does, man.
So, all right, if we're looking at these odds here, Texans.
You have to take the Texans. I don't think there's too many question marks with the other 3.
There is. You're not making any money off it though, but I guess make a little bit nothing.
Am I playing the lottery here? Like, it's a chance.
If we're betting in Vegas, betting in. Are we doing double or nothing? The great pay-per-view that just happened. Double or nothing.
Right.
I think the Texans have to be the betting favorite, but we see a lot of times too, Matt, where a team comes out of nowhere. Wow, next year maybe they get a little too full of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Sophomore slump,
right,
brother? Yeah,
for CJ Stroud. You know what? Like, I'm with you. I think the Texans are winning it, but I wouldn't be afraid to put a little bit of money on the Jags because it was that close to win. And then maybe a little bit on the Titans too. The more I'm looking at their roster, boy, man, like if you get Will Levis cooking plus 800, boy, you put $20 on that, you're having a good time.
Do you think Indy's the dogs in this? They're
I think they're too plain.
Peters. Okay.
Yeah, I think they'll be. I'm feeling like a 9-8. They'll be fine. You know what I mean? 8-9, 9. Like they'll be a tough out, but they'll be out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like third place.
Did that team ever get screwed with Andrew Luck? Like, can you imagine? Guys, I'm out.
I'm out. And now he doesn't watch football. He lives in the woods or something. Like the Colts destroyed him. It broke him.
I mean, he comes from a wealthy family, I think, too, doesn't he?
His dad was an NFL quarterback.
What? Okay, an NFL quarterback. I thought he was a
Oliver Luck.
Something. Okay. There you go.
Who's got money?
Yeah.
Right? So
I don't know. He just walked away.
How long did he play?
6, 7 years?
I think so. And he had Hall of Fame potential, like if he kept going. Right? But he was beat up, and he's like, Colts, that stupid Jim Irsay didn't get him any offensive line. And as soon as he left, then they beef up the offensive line.
Yeah, well, they learned a lesson, I guess. What's so wild about that story to me is he went through all training camp, and it was the preseason, and in the middle of the game, it gets out. Yeah, he's done. He's not starting the season, and then they go and get Jacoby Brissett or something.
Yeah. Oh man, good memory.
So I think that was who it was.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was
already, but crazy.
I think you're right. Crazy. It was Jacoby for a couple of years.
I can't imagine. Just Pat Mahomes he's done.
You imagine, what's in the mindset? You're just like, I
don't know. We got Carson Wentz backing him up now.
Oh, yeah. Carson Wentz is cooking.
So,
and that's another guy. Lots of injuries. You know, it changes so quick in the NFL. That's what's so weird about it. So so we're saying our official picks.
Texans, no doubt. Texans, put it in. Lock it in.
I'm gonna play suck up to Tony Khan, and I say the Jaguars.
I didn't think of the boss aspect of things.
I want to be a backstage handler. I'll do catering. I think the Jags. Let's go. Let's do that. Let's talk a little bit about Forbidden Door, this pay-per-view. All Elite Wrestling. Matt,
Sunday night, June 30th, UBS Arena, Long Island, New York, live and only on pay-per-view. Or not only, but there's other.
You can see it live.
Oh, absolutely. Live.
Triller TV, if you can't see it live, formerly Fight TV in the US, Canada, International. That's the place to go. And also, just if you want to get like the Triller TV subscription plus, like Matt, they have some really cool other fight like leagues. Like there's bare knuckle fighting. I'm looking at. There's blood sport. They got World Sumo Championship. That's cool.
I think we also just put up. I believe I just read this. We put up all our past pay-per-views that you could purchase over there for price or something. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Okay, and cool. you can pre-order the pay-per-view Forbidden Door headlined. Like the whole card is going to be stacked. But I would buy the pay-per-view just for Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's going to be something. Title on the line, the World Championship. Swerve is your champion, taking on the international champion, Will Ospreay, who is considered by many to be currently the greatest wrestler in the world.
Swerve would differ.
It's going to be something. Yeah, he would differ. But I believe this is I was going to say first time matchup. It is not. I remember seeing clips of them wrestling in 2016, I believe in Germany, but first time probably here on American soil, we'll say, certainly at this level. And it's going to be something. That's for sure.
And what you want is both these guys are young. They're in their prime. We don't have over the hill guys. We don't have, I'm thinking, I've been watching the Who Killed WCW documentary. We don't get over the hill.
I mean, I don't want to I don't want to be ageist or anything. You know what I mean? Like, but it's funny because the guys who were the age that they were back then, let's say in the late 90s WCW, we're talking like Hall and Nash and Hulk. They're not that old. When you look at a 45-year-old today, they're still going. You know what I mean? You look at we're talking the other company, but AJ Styles is that age, Sure. Or you're looking at Chris Jericho or Sting, who just retired at 63 years old,
Sting jumping off stuff.
Right. They work circles around those guys.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if partly, and you're absolutely right, because in our minds, like, 45. Yeah. Now you got guys going nuts. And still, you said Jericho, I think 53, and he's still dialing it up.
That's it. They're drinking the the blood like Tom Brady, I guess.
Yeah. Well, maybe though that these guys like the Hogan Hall Nash, they had come out of that 80s schedule where they were doing 300 days a year, and you're just destroyed.
That's entirely possible. Like I don't know. I don't know what to attribute it to, but it's the same thing in life, in everyday life. Like you look at pictures of a 30-year-old in the 80s, and a 30-year-old today. It's night and day. It's crazy.
I know. Yeah, especially like the old black and white photos. It's like,
that's it.
Oh, how old is your grandfather? Oh, that was my mom, and she's 20. What?
Right. That's it.
What life? What happened in life?
Cigarette smoke. I think cigarette smoke has a lot to do with it.
Cigarettes, digging up, eating turnips. I don't know. That's it. It's crazy. So okay. We got Swerve, Will Ospreay.
Keep on track,
And man,
what else we got?
So but those two right there, like Swerve is so money, and Ospreay, the stuff he does, and Matt, it's tough because we've seen so much wrestling over the years, and so much came out of those late 90s, that Wild Attitude era, and an AEW that there's not very often you can say I've never seen that. Yeah. Will Ospreay did two things in a match last week in defending the international champion. That I'm like, I've never seen that, and I've watched wrestling since 1988.
The super run off the top rope where he lands on his feet and just walks like the coolest guy in the world away, and you see the whole audience stand up behind, it's going nuts. It was insane.
It's absolutely wild. So we got that Toni Storm versus Mina for the women's title.
Yeah, Toni Storm, maybe the hottest act in all of professional wrestling right now. Timeless Toni Storm, the AEW Women's Champion. My personal favorite. She'll be there, of course, with Luther and Mariah May caught in the middle. This is a bit of a love triangle we're talking about here. A bit of a love triangle.
Yeah, going into the Owen Hart Cup as well. Like, I have to say, in watching sports and in wrestling as well, in recent years, Matt, I've been like, okay, when I'm seeing greatness, when I can appreciate it, I try to drink it in. I know one day the timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May and Luther, I know that will end. Yeah. So I'm drinking in every second of it because it is my favorite thing in sport. Not just wrestling. I love it.
They've done such a great job with the stories. The women in AEW, like I'm not the biggest ladies wrestling fan. I'll put it out there, but they have been, hats off to them. They've just been killing it. You got these guys here, right? You got Luther, Mariah May, timeless Toni Storm with Mina. Then you got who am I thinking of? Mercedes Moné, who's been tearing it up with Willow. Chris Statlander. Who else am I thinking of here? Deanna and Thunder Rosa have been tearing it up every time they've touched each other. It's been incredible. Absolutely.
Before she got hurt, Julia Hart as well. Julia Hart was killing it.
Carried that division, the TBS division, for a long time there. Hats off to all the ladies at AEW. Absolutely on fire.
Oh, well, here's what I found myself, and it was a couple years ago, I guess, because they had that wicked street fight to Anna Jay and Ty Mello. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I found myself watching AEW saying, because in the past you watch other promotions, like, oh, that was a good women's match. I found myself just saying that was a great match.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I caught myself, I'm like, what a difference. I didn't even mean to. I'm like, that was a great, I'm not saying that's a great women's match. I'm just saying that's a great match. And I'm watching AEW, I'm like, I'm watching great wrestling, and it doesn't matter if it's men or women wrestling. It's great entertainment. And that's the big difference that AEW, I think, brings is, as a fan, I'm like, I don't care what, any backstory. I'm watching this and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, no question about it. And the stories that have been coming along with it just gets you invested into every personality and every character. And then it all comes together. And, hey, we'll see what happens June the 30th, live on pay-per-view. Triller TV.
Triller TV. Is there, so Matt, you've been doing a lot of commentary on Rampage.
Yeah.
Of course, you've been doing a phenomenal job. I don't have to tell you that. You're doing a great job. Love it. And for you, I remember one of our early times we talked, it was some wrestling commentary. You wanted to keep building on the commentary side. Is that something you're still enjoying? You're still growing with it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's no question where my future is going to be more at the booth than in the ring. And as time goes on, that will, keep happening more and more, that I'll be more in the booth than in the ring. Yeah, no, absolutely. I love it. I think they have done such a great job of, and I don't think it was necessarily on purpose, but like developing me, just getting little more and more opportunities. Like I started on doing AEW Dark, which was a YouTube show
with Paul White.
That's right. Yeah, we did it for probably 8-9 months or so, I'd say. And it went from there. Then I got sprinkled in on Rampage. I had to replace Jericho here and there, and the audience slowly got used to me. You know what I mean? Or I'd call Danny Garcia match on. I call all his matches, most of them. And he'd have a big. I remember we did in New Jersey. He had a big main event against Swerve. On Dynamite. It was the main event of Dynamite, and I got to call that. So slowly the audience has gotten used to me in that role. And then now I have the full-time position on Rampage, which is fantastic.
It's great. And AEW has done something that I traditionally, I hate 3-man booths. I hate it. People step on it. In wrestling in the past, it just didn't work. In football, hockey, it's usually terrible. AEW's made it work. It's a credit to you, my friend. It is talent to be able to work it, because you got play-by-play, then you got color, but then there's that. Okay, what does the third guy do? And you've been able to mix in really well. I think the group's done a really nice job at that. It's
tough for sure, and there's a lot of voices. No question. Like sometimes I'll talk over Shivani. I'm like, I feel bad. I'm like, this guy's a legend. What am I? I'm a bozo talking over him over here.
But you find your groove and you're doing it. The TNT Open TNT title ladder match is another one on
big time.
How about Adam Copeland going down after that epic match in the cage with Gangrel coming out? How about that? I talked huge for Gangrel. I was like, he's got the blood. I was going crazy.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's just it's what it is. It's what happens. It's
the biz, baby.
Could happen at any. You got to flatten out on those dies, Adam Copeland.
Yeah, he came right down like,
maybe it was too close. It might have been too close.
It could have been. But now we have I believe there's still two up.
Yeah, there's two spots. I had pulled that up to see who was already qualified in it. Right. So right now we got. So this is I believe a 5-way, or
I think 6. Is it 6?
6. Okay, let's say 6. It's a ladder match for the AEW Television TNT Championship. Konosuke Takeshita already qualified. Mark Briscoe already qualified. Jack Perry, of course, already qualified, and Dante Martin already qualified.
Dante Martin, whenever ladder match, Dante Martin, yes, please. That guy's doing something crazy.
I think he found his limit last time, though. I don't know if you remember what happened. He had a ladder match at Ring of Honor, and ended up shattering his leg.
That was
he's back and healthy now.
That was awful. That was right up there with remember the old Sid Vicious broken leg?
Yes, absolutely.
Except Sid came off the second rope. Dante Martin was coming off. Old Sid.
Poor Sid. I've heard him tell stories like he was talked into doing that. Like he didn't want to do it. He's like, I'm not comfortable. Like I've never done that. What do we do? They're like, no, do it. It'll be good. And then.
Okay, how high is the second rope off the mat, though? How many feet? Like 2?
Oh, yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah,
In fairness, that's not. I wouldn't consider that high risk.
I would say no. But that's the thing that is so insane is you get hurt doing something like that. So you can imagine the risk of doing all the stuff off the ladders.
Yeah,
this guy shattered his leg jumping off the second rope, right? Like in 2, you saw his boot just hanging there.
Oh, and then I think it was one of the Steiners came in and he's like. And still kicks him.
Well, show us.
He's like, oh my god, what do we do?
Go on.
I gotta go. Show's gotta go.
Shovel.
On. Oh my god. Okay,
absolutely.
There you go, buddy. Well, Rob, you've been very generous with your time as always. We'll get you back on when it comes around with the Browns facing the Chiefs a little bit later on in the summer. But we'll say Matt Menard says officially the Houston Texans to win the AFC South, but the Jags will be second and close, right?
That's right. If anybody knows my picks, I never choose the team that I want to win.
That's right.
Right? Hey. That's always how it goes.
You coming on the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara has been good luck for your Chiefs 2 years in a row.
That's right.
2 years in a row.
That's right. Undefeated.
Undefeated. All right, buddy. Thank you very much, mate. Hey, tell people on social. We know what you're up to on Rampage and all, but tell people where they can find you, follow you all.
Yeah, you can find me on all platforms at the Daddy Magic, Instagram, Twitter, X. Are we calling it X? I don't think so. I don't call it X. It's Twitter. I think I'm gonna have a TikTok. I was just talking to somebody about that coming up soon. So look out for that. It's always at the Daddy Magic. The Daddy Magic. June 30th, live on pay-per-view. Forbidden Door, AEW, UBS Arena, AWTIX.com. Will be coming to a city near you.
Good stuff, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Take it easy, Andy.
All right. There he goes. Daddy Magic, Matt Menard. So Matt's official pick, the Texans to win the AFC South at plus 105. I say Jags at plus 270. But I got to tell you, when I was looking at that Tennessee, and I know this is going to please the producers of this fine program, I'm looking at the Tennessee Titans at plus 800 and that roster, that offense anyway. Boy, you get another healthy season, which is an if out of DeAndre Hopkins, and Will Levis takes a step forward. Those Titans could make a move. Plus 800? I'm going to put a couple bucks on that. Let me know. AFC South, who's going to win Browns, Jags, week 2? Browns are taking out Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be healthy, but I think they're thin. I think they have enough to potentially win the division if Houston takes a step back. But I think the Browns are very complete. It really depends, again, how Deshaun Watson plays. He finished strong, right? Threw a 40, overthrew Elijah Moore, but the pop seemed back in the arm. Look good. We like that. Make sure, like, subscribe. In the comment section, again, if you missed the top of the show, Phil Dawson, legend, is going to be inducted into the Browns Legends this year. That was fun news coming out today. Phil Dawson, favorite Phil Dawson memory. Who do you want next in the Browns Legend group? Leave a comment. Hit us up on social, on X at AndyMC81, at SickPodBrowns, Instagram and TikTok at AndyMC Sports. Big thank you to Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, our buddy, for coming in from AEW. Make sure you order Forbidden Door June 30 on Triller TV in US, Canada, and in select international markets. So there you go. We'll be back next week with the next Browns opponent. So thank you to Matt Menard and to all of you. As always, go Browns!
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.